Thank you, Madam Chairman. First of all, Dr. Charo's written statement that the success of fetal tissue is, quote, unimpeachable, end quote, is not completely accurate. The Nobel Prize given to Enders, Weller, and Robbins in 1954 was for showing that poliovirus could be grown in fetal tissue in the laboratory, not for developing the polio vaccine. In fact, the original Salk and Sabin vaccines were raised in monkey tissues, not human fetal tissue. And she conflates the use of fresh aborted fetal tissue with the use of fetal cell lines. And while a few cell lines, which did originate from an abortion, were used in the past for production of some vaccines, only a few modern vaccines utilize these old fetal cell lines, and none use fresh aborted fetal tissue. In fact, the CDC and other leading medical authorities have noted that, quote, no new fetal tissue is needed to produce cell lines to make these vaccines, now or in the future, end quote. The new successful vaccine against Ebola virus, announced last summer, was made using monkey tissue, not fetal tissue or fetal cell lines. So, Dr. Donovan, looking at modern vaccines, do you see any need for use of fresh aborted fetal tissue for vaccine production?
I think your statement was absolutely accurate, that yes, these have been of use in the past. There are other cell lines, there are other means of producing vaccines, and so there is no need to use fetal tissue to produce new cell lines for vaccine production. Moreover, I think it may be a bit disingenuous to say that millions of lives have been saved because these vaccines were produced in the past. Millions of doses have been given and millions of infections have been prevented. Most of those would not have resulted in serious injury to the person immunized or death, certainly. That doesn't mean we shouldn't still be immunizing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. At what point, and you can continue, Dr. Donovan, at what point in human development does science show one is a human being? And why is this?
Well, we really have to go back to one's definition. You know, if we're talking about is it human in terms of having a full complement of cells, you know, that develop continually into, you know, fully grown adults, that happens at the zygote stage.
Well, let me go a little further. Is there a point in the baby's gestation at which researchers most want fetal tissue for research? And why is this?
And that I'm not sure that I can answer accurately, so I won't.
All right. Is there any scientific evidence that unborn babies at a later stage feel pain? And should the knowledge of a baby's ability to feel pain by certain points in development affect the ethics surrounding fetal tissue collection from induced abortion?
I think the evidence for fetal pain is very strong. And we're seeing good evidence at 18 to 20 weeks of gestation that fetuses can respond with pain responses. And I think no matter how you feel about a fetus, you know, you can accept its humanity, you can reject its humanity, but we wouldn't allow kittens and puppies to be harmed or put to sleep without keeping them out of pain. I don't think we should do that for fetuses either.
Yeah. Ms. Cunningham, did you want to add something to that?
No, thank you.
All right. Well, I appreciate your testimony about unborn children are the most vulnerable in the human family, and they're deserving of respect and protection. Yet, you know, we see they're legally, they're destroyed in abortions and then either thrown away or traded like a commodity. And it's our duty to protect them, not facilitate the market for their case. My time's expired.